I am Jory Evans with Evans Trucking, and today we're going to talk to you about the 2025 Freightliner Cascadia and why we have chosen it as our primary fleet truck on our fleet. This is a 2025 Cascadia. First of all, you're going to notice super cone shaped, very smooth, very consistent shape around the front and up the hood. And even you're going to see now in this new model, we have no sun visor. The windshield slopes up and right over the hood. You even have a little bit of a wind deflector here, as well as even right up to the mirrors, we have a single arm that is built like an airplane wing that really cuts and keeps the wind from buffeting on the side of the cab. Freightliner's done a great thing here by adding some of these flexible wheel aerodynamic deflectors that really help keep that flatness across the wheel here and doesn't let the air get underneath. A big piece of aerodynamics is creating dead space underneath your vehicle. So we don't want that wind going under, we want it to go around and beside, because once air gets underneath the vehicle, we get the buffeting and it's getting tied up in your differentials and your cross members and all that kind of stuff. So if we can keep a dead air space underneath the vehicle, it keeps air from wanting to come underneath and get swirling, which is what really causes drag. A Freightliner does have another aerodyne package that you can add here, where you can get a wind deflector that comes here in between the dual tires and then a final wing on the back. I think it is a really good package. Unfortunately, with our application being a flat deck company and having a little bit of off-road and a lot of Canadian weather where we have ice and wind and grit and that kind of stuff, we found consistently that the mounting brackets for the aerodyne package would break off and end up taking out tires and going on into traffic and down from there. So we don't spec that on our vehicle anymore. I would like to see Freightliner upgrade that to be a little bit more robust, because I think it's a really good adder. On 2025, we've done little things like this here, where we've got a filler piece here to keep the wind from cutting in and getting back in behind the cab to keep that dead space. We've also had an extended cab extender here. So this is now, I believe, 20 inches rather than the previous 10. From there, we go down to things like wheel covers. So there was a study done a couple years back where they proved that these wheel covers can bring you 1% fuel efficiency savings on the truck and 1% on the trailer. And so that seems like a minor thing, but when you do the math over years, it is a big money saver. And so we put them on. We decided to go with a little bit of a better looking aerodynamic deflector for our wheel cover here. We get with the stainless. They're quick release. You have the button, twist, and they pop right off. It allows you to still check your axles and your oil levels and that kind of thing, but it keeps your truck looking shiny and clean and lasting for a long period of time over those kind of ugly plasticky looking ones. All that being said, this particular unit in the last month got 9.6 miles per gallon Imperial running all over North America with flatbed loads. And so that's a number that is kind of setting the standard and setting the bar within our fleet as to what is capable. And so we spend, again, a lot of time and money setting our stuff up very specifically, but this is the thing that gives us an edge against our competition. In the Freightliner Cascadia, we have the Detroit DD15. That's what we spec in our trucks. One thing that's different now is with putting the automatic transmission in these trucks, Daimler recommends a little bit different horsepower and torque range. On this style now, we're running a 475 horse 1750 torque combination. More torque, less horsepower works better with this particular transmission. With the DT12 transmission, this is the only transmission you can get on highway application anymore, but we have found it to be actually very reliable. We've had very few issues, up to, a million plus kilometers on these transmissions. A big thing with these trucks is maintenance intervals, and so we run very long maintenance intervals in our fleet. We do our oil changes about every 6 months, which is often in the neighborhood of 100 to 120,000 kilometers, which is long, but within spec for Detroit and our use. The other thing that I'm a really big fan on is that this is a non-variable geometry turbo we're using in this engine, and they tend to be much more reliable and much cheaper to replace. In all of the 70 plus Freightliner trucks that I've ever bought, I have yet to change an original turbo on one of these trucks, which is a wild fact, and I've checked that fact multiple times because I can't even believe I can say it out loud, but on the DD15 platform, I have never changed a turbocharger on north of 50 million miles, which is insane. So all in all, very happy, very impressed with Detroit and what Detroit's doing, and they are constantly tweaking and improving their platform, and it has been a long time platform, trusted and true. We're in the cab here of the Freightliner Cascadia. Some of the things that I like about Freightliner is, one, visibility. Freightliner's done a great job of setting up their mirrors so that you can see past them. You don't have too heavy of a pillar here. You got good visibility and aerodynamics as well. So your mirrors stay pretty clean in a truck like this. We've got our cruise controls on our steering wheel, which is a great thing. We've got our other dash and internal controls on the steering wheel. Everything's nice. Buttons are nice and close and handy and in the right place. We've got a new upgraded stereo here now. They've gone to a touchscreen stereo, which gives you some more feedbacks and more options. Good Bluetooth connectivity. Drivers really like and enjoy it. A lot better visibility than the old school style stereo that they've been putting in these trucks for the last, almost 10 years. In a previous review, you saw me do a review on the Western Star. I do like, although a very similar seat, I feel that Western Star did a little better job of upgrading the seat, making it a little bit nicer and more plush for the driver. We don't have drivers complain about comfort issues in these seats. I think they're good seats. You can get them with heat and cool, which is a nice feature, but comfort wise they're good, durability wise they're good. I just wish they looked a little bit nicer than they do. You'll see here we've got our shifter module that's kind of like your opposite to your signal. This also does your Jake brake, which is a really nice feature that I like in the Western Star and in the Cascadia. You can get your different levels of Jake on and off, and it's all right here. Normally you'd have an on for your Jake and you'd have different levels on your dash that you have to kind of look for when you need it suddenly, whereas here, on off, it's right at your fingertips. It's a super, super nice feature that these trucks have. I find I'm always reaching for my shifter, but the beauty of not having the shifter here is this. I've got nothing in my way. I've got more room to get in and out. I've got nothing obstructing my access to the back of my cab or in a way of anything here that I want to put here or need to have handy. So that is pretty handy. If I'm going to have one complaint when we're sitting in here, this is not a luxurious feeling cab. It is functional. As I said, Freightliner, the efficient machine. It's a great fleet truck in that way. It's very durable. It's easy to clean. We do a lot of cleaning these trucks out and when guys are coming in and out of them, but I just don't get riled up about this truck, right? We've got the plasticky wood, we've got the weird orange brown that kind of goes in, and it's in an attempt, I'll give it to them, to try and make it a little bit less blasé, but I think that they could do a lot better with just a little bit more effort inside the cab. We could give some variety in some of the color choices. We could add some soft touch to our door panel here. We could do a little bit better, have another option for our seat upgrade. Like what I found too in the Western Star, and I think they did it really well, is they added some nice metal kind of finishes, and they trimmed things a little bit nicer and cleaner and just more tough and nice feeling. So I wish Freightliner would spend a little bit more time upgrading the interior to give it some feel for the driver, to have a little pride and a little enjoyment of their environment. But as functionally speaking, this is the epitome of function. They have thought of everything. Ergonomically speaking, everything is in the right place, everything is handy, everything is good. So that's great. Going into the bunk, same sort of stuff as we've seen for a long time. We've got their closet here. One of the negatives that I'll give to this that I see in other trucks like Internationals and what Peterbilts and stuff like that is this high cabinet is very limiting for tall people. I get a lot of complaints with tall people. I can't lean my seat back, I can't push my seat back. It does create a thing. So when you go to a lower cabinet here where you don't have this high upper, we can get our seat back farther. Usually we can lean back a little farther, and that is one complaint I hear very frequently. Otherwise, we've got our fridge. The fridge is a good size in these trucks. It's a rollout style. I think it works pretty good. I haven't heard many complaints about it. I haven't used it a ton myself yet. One thing in the older style, the previous Cascadia, is they did not have a good proper cabinet for our microwave. This is a really great thing that Freightliner's done. A regular microwave fits in that, and it's up and away. Drivers are much happier with this. They used to just be a never-ending complaint that the other cabinetry was no good for a proper microwave. Another thing, in the previous edition of the Cascadia, the older model, we had cabinets with doors and latches up top. It was a little cleaner looking. They were lockable. Some of the drivers did prefer that for locking some of their goods away, and just a little bit less cluttered of a feel. I know you can store more and do more with the open cabinet like this on the shelf, so there's more options or ways of using it. But you know, that's a kind of take it or leave it. It would be nice if we had a little bit more of an option. Obviously, we're in a mid-roof truck, the lower style roof, but for a guy like me, I can still stand up here comfortably. Everything's good that way. I've got a little bit of room, so if I was up to, you know, 6'2", I'd be okay. But for our application, we really need the mid-roof for flat decking, and so this works really good for us. Again, lots of cabinets around in the top, lots of things that you can tuck and place away. I don't hear guys complain that they don't have enough storage. Maybe they'd like some more, but it does work and it is functional. All in all, I think Freightliner knows their market, and they know their customer and what their customer is looking for in a fleet type truck, and this does very well and serves the driver well. I have lots of guys that come out of an older school W900 Kenworth or Long Hood Peterbilt, and as much as they think it's cool and they like it, they do end up pretty happy in these trucks. They're comfortable, they're quiet, they're roomy, they work good, and so, you know, our drivers in general are pretty happy. So in overview, I'm a big Freightliner fan. I'm a big Detroit and Daimler fan and a believer in the product, and we will continue to move forward and buy more Freightliner products. And so I hope this review is helpful to you. If you would like to follow along with us and get more reviews on trucks and our thoughts and feelings about stuff in the industry, please like and share our page and follow along with us at Evans Trucking.